Welcome to a journey through the world of the German Shorthaired Pointer. Let yourself settle in, breathe slowly, and let these stories wash over you like gentle waves. Tonight, we begin where all great breeds begin, with purpose. You see, the German Shorthaired Pointer wasn't born by chance. This dog was engineered, carefully, methodically, with clear intention in mind. Our first fact is simple, but profound. The German Shorthaired Pointer was developed in Germany as a true multipurpose hunting dog. Not a specialist, but a master of many trades. Imagine the vision those early breeders held, a single dog that could do the work of 3 or 4. A companion for the changing world of the hunter. Let that settle for a moment, the ambition of it. Now, if we trace the lineage back through the mists of time, we find ourselves in the 17th century. The origins of this remarkable breed trace back to European quail dogs of that era. Picture the forests of old Europe, hunters walking through morning fog, and beside them, these early dogs, ancestors of the pointer we know today. They were different then, less refined, but the foundation was being laid, stone by stone, generation by generation. But those quail dogs were just the beginning. The German breeders, thoughtful as they were, knew they needed more. Early crosses included Spanish pointers and Hanoverian hounds. The Spanish pointer brought substance, a strong nose, reliability. The Hanoverian hound contributed tracking ability, that deep, instinctive drive to follow a scent through forest and field. Can you picture these dogs, each contributing a piece of the puzzle, their bloodlines weaving together like threads in a tapestry? Breathe slowly, there's no rush. The story continues to unfold, because the German breeders still weren't satisfied. They looked across the water to England, where pointers were known for something special. The breed was further refined with English pointer blood for speed and range. Imagine the effect, like adding wings to an already capable athlete. The English pointer brought elegance, lightning-quick reflexes, the ability to cover ground with breathtaking efficiency. This infusion transformed the breed, gave it reach, gave it flash. And what was all this breeding for? What was the grand purpose? The German Shorthaired Pointer was created to point, track, retrieve, and hunt on land and water. Think about that for a moment. Most hunting dogs specialize in 1, perhaps 2 tasks. This dog was meant to do it all. Point at game birds, frozen in that iconic stance, track wounded animals through dense underbrush, retrieve waterfowl from icy lakes, hunt fur and feather with equal skill. A tool for every season, every terrain, every quarry. Let yourself sink deeper into relaxation. Now here's something important to understand about this breed's character. The German Shorthaired Pointer was designed for foot hunters, not mounted nobles. This matters more than you might think. While English estates bred dogs for gentlemen on horseback, the German hunter walked his land. He needed a partner, not a servant. A dog that stayed close, that worked with him, not ahead of him. A dog with stamina to walk all day, intelligence to read terrain and work efficiently, loyalty to stay connected to his human partner. This shaped everything about the breed's temperament, its desire to be near you, its need for partnership. The late 1800s brought formalization. Breed standards were formalized in Germany during this period. What had been regional types, what had been family lines and local variations, now became standardized. Breeders gathered, compared their dogs, debated points of conformation and performance, and agreed on what this breed should be. It was the beginning of the modern German Shorthaired Pointer, the moment intention became institution. In 1897, something remarkable happened. The Deutsche Kuhjahr Studbook was published. Imagine holding that first volume, those carefully recorded pedigrees, the names of dogs long gone but never forgotten. This wasn't just record-keeping. It was the formal recognition of a breed. A declaration that the German Shorthaired Pointer had arrived, was real, was valuable enough to preserve with care and precision. But here's what made this breed truly different, and you're going to find this fascinating. Registration in the breed book required passing working trials. You couldn't simply have a pretty dog with the right pedigree. Your dog had to prove itself in the field, demonstrate that it could hunt, that it possessed the skills and drives the breed was created for. Beauty without function? Not acceptable. This was revolutionary, radical even. Many breeds rewarded appearance alone, but not the German Shorthaired Pointer. And this brings us to our final fact of this opening chapter, perhaps the most important one. The breed's philosophy has always been performance before appearance. Form follows function. A dog that couldn't hunt wasn't a proper German Shorthaired Pointer, no matter how handsome it might be. This philosophy echoes through the breed to this day, in their athletic builds, their tireless energy, their deep need to work and move and accomplish. They are, at their core, working athletes with a job description written into their very DNA. So now you know why this dog exists. Not by accident, not by whim, but by design. By the careful hands of breeders who knew exactly what they wanted, and had the patience to create it over generations. Rest now, let these thoughts drift, and know that we've only just begun our journey into the world of the German Shorthaired Pointer. And so we continue, gently, into the next chapter of our story. If the first act was about intention, this one is about execution. How does a body serve a mission? How does form express function? Let's explore together, slowly, the physical poetry of the German Shorthaired Pointer. Take a deep breath, and consider this. The German Shorthaired Pointer possesses a medium-large athletic build that balances speed and stamina. Not a greyhound, built for explosive sprints that burn out quickly. Not a mastiff, powerful but ponderous. No. This dog sits in that perfect middle ground, where speed meets endurance. Imagine a marathon runner who can also sprint, an athlete who can work all day without flagging, yet explode into action when the moment demands it. That's the balance struck here, in muscle and bone, in proportion and design. Now let's get specific. German Shorthaired Pointers stand 21 to 25 inches tall. Measured at the shoulder, as dogs are, this puts them squarely in that versatile middle range. Tall enough to see over prairie grass, to move through crops and cover with ease, short enough to fit in a boat, a blind, a family home. Not so large as to be cumbersome, not so small as to lack presence. Just right, like a craftsman's tool made to fit the human hand perfectly. Breathe slowly. Let the information settle. And what of their weight? Weight ranges from 45 to 70 pounds. That's quite a span, isn't it? The smaller females might be in the mid-40s, elegant athletes built for speed. The larger males pushing toward 70, more substance, more power. But even at their heaviest, there's no excess, no wasted bulk. Every pound is muscle, bone, the machinery of motion. Pick up a 4 to 5 pound bag of dog food sometime, feel its weight. Now imagine that weight distributed perfectly, engineered for performance, alive with potential energy. The body itself tells a story. German Shorthaired Pointers have square or slightly rectangular body proportions. Look at one from the side. The length from chest to hindquarters is roughly equal to the height at the shoulder, or just slightly longer. This isn't the exaggerated rectangle of a dachshund, nor the perfect square of some terriers. It's balanced, harmonious. These proportions allow for both the coiled power needed to leap and the extended stride needed to cover ground hour after hour. Form, always serving function. Let your mind drift to their chest. The deep chest of the German Shorthaired Pointer supports tremendous lung capacity. Imagine the bellows of a forge, expanding and contracting, feeding oxygen to the fire. That's what this chest does. It drops low between the front legs, creating space for lungs to expand fully, to pull in great drafts of air during a long day's hunt. More oxygen means more endurance, the ability to run and run and run without tiring. The heart sits protected in this cavity, a powerful engine in a reinforced chamber. Now, something you might not expect. German Shorthaired Pointers have webbed feet that enable powerful swimming. Yes, webbed feet. Like a duck, like an otter. Between each toe, skin stretches, creating natural paddles. Press against water, and the webbing catches it, pushes against it, propels the dog forward through lakes and rivers and ponds. This wasn't accidental, remember, this dog was meant to retrieve waterfowl. To plunge into icy water without hesitation, to swim strongly even in currents, to bring back what falls into water as confidently as what falls on land. Rest in this knowledge, breathe. The coat deserves attention. The short, dense coat protects without slowing movement. Run your hand over it in your imagination. It's not silky like a setter's, not fluffy like a retriever's. It's short, almost harsh to the touch, lying tight against the body. But dense, thick enough to turn away thorns, to insulate against cold water, to shed mud and burrs. And because it's short, it doesn't collect debris, doesn't mat, doesn't slow the dog down as it crashes through brush. It's minimalist protection, exactly as much as needed, nothing more. And what colors does this coat come in? Common colors include liver, black, ticked, and roan. Liver is that rich, deep brown, the color of chocolate or mahogany. Black is less common but striking, a solid dark coat that gleams in sunlight. But often, these solid colors are broken up. Ticked means small flecks of white scattered through the darker base, like stars in a night sky. Roan is a beautiful blending, white hairs mixed so thoroughly with the base color that the dog appears almost silver or blue-gray from a distance. Each pattern is unique, no two dogs marked exactly alike, nature's fingerprint in fur. Let yourself sink deeper now. The tail tells its own story. Docked tails are carried horizontally while working. Now, tail docking is controversial. Practices vary by country and preference. But traditionally, the tail was shortened, not removed entirely, but reduced. Why? In thick brush, a long tail could be injured, caught, damaged. And when the dog is working, pointing or tracking, that shortened tail extends straight back, level with the spine, like an arrow pointing the way. It becomes part of the dog's silhouette, part of how it communicates intent. And finally, watch a German Shorthaired Pointer move. The gait is smooth, efficient, and ground-covering. There's no wasted motion, no bounce, no sideways drift. The legs move straight and true, the back stays level, the whole dog flows forward like water over stones. Ground covering means with each stride, significant distance is consumed. The dog doesn't mince along, it reaches forward with the front legs, drives powerfully with the rear, and eats up the ground beneath it. You could watch this movement for hours. It's hypnotic, economical, beautiful in its purposefulness. And there you have it, the physical design of the German Shorthaired Pointer. Every measurement, every proportion, every feature, chosen deliberately. Built for the field, engineered for work, a body that serves its mission perfectly. Rest now, breathe deeply, and let these images settle in your mind like leaves falling gently to still water. Softly now, we turn the page to a new chapter. You've met the German Shorthaired Pointer, learned its origins, explored its form. But there's a cousin in this story, a variation on the same beautiful theme. Let's wander together through the similarities and differences, and discover that sometimes, the same vision can wear two different coats. First, let's refresh what we know. The German Shorthaired Pointer is sleek, fast, with a minimal coat. Picture it again in your mind, that tight, short fur lying close to the body, the clean lines, the streamlined athlete. Everything about it speaks of speed and efficiency. No excess, no decoration, just pure function wrapped in elegant simplicity. This is the dog we've come to know, the one that moves like quicksilver through field and forest. But now, meet its cousin. The German Wirehead Pointer possesses a rugged, weather-resistant coat. Where the short hair is sleek, the wire hair is textured, rough, almost scruffy in its charm. The coat stands away from the body, wiry and dense, like a protective armor woven from steel wool. Touch it, and you'd feel the difference immediately, not smooth, but coarse, purposefully so. This coat announces itself, proclaims its function, wears its utility openly. And the face, the face tells the story even more clearly. The German Wirehead Pointer's coat includes beard, eyebrows, and whiskers. Imagine a wise old professor, or a weathered sea captain. Those eyebrows jut forward, giving the dog an almost comical expression of perpetual thoughtfulness. The beard frames the muzzle, whiskers bristle outward. These aren't mere decorations, they're sensory tools, protection for the face when pushing through dense cover, and yes, they do give the dog remarkable character. A wire hair looks like it has stories to tell, adventures already lived. Let yourself relax deeper. There's no hurry. But why this difference in coat? The wirehead coat protects from cold, thorns, and water in ways the smooth coat cannot. Think of it as the difference between a windbreaker and a winter parka. That wiry outer coat repels water, sheds it away before it can reach the skin. The density creates an insulating layer of trapped air, warmth in frigid conditions. And when the dog charges through blackberry thickets or rose brambles, through juniper and hawthorn, that coat takes the abuse, shielding the skin beneath. It's armor, insulation, and raincoat all in one. Now, timing matters in this story. German Wirehead Pointers were developed later in the 19th century. The short hair came first, established itself, proved the concept of the versatile hunting dog. But some breeders looked at their creation and thought, what if we need more protection? What if we hunt in harsher conditions? And so they began a parallel journey, using what they'd learned, but taking it in a slightly different direction. The bloodlines tell us much. Crosses that created the German Wirehead Pointer included Pudelponter and Wirehead Pointing Griffon. The Pudelponter itself was a cross of poodle and pointer. Yes, poodle, bringing that distinctive wire coat and strong retrieving instinct. The Wirehead Pointing Griffon contributed more of that rough coat, more beard, more of that protective armor. These weren't random choices, they were calculated additions to solve specific problems. Breathe slowly, let the history wash over you. And what problem were they solving? German Wirehead Pointers were bred for harsher terrain and colder climates. Think of the mountains, the high forests, late-season hunting when frost coats the grass and ice forms on pond edges. Think of the roughest cover, the places where thorns grow thick and the going is brutal. That's where the wirehair shines. Where a short hair might hesitate, might feel the cold or flinch from the thorns, the wirehair plunges ahead, protected by that remarkable coat. But here's what's beautiful, despite their differences, both breeds share the same versatile hunting philosophy. Point, track, retrieve. Land and water. Fur and feather. All seasons, all game, all-terrain. The mission never changed, only the equipment adapted to different conditions. Both breeds carry forward that same German insistence on versatility, on performance, on being a true hunting partner. And indeed, both excel on land and in water. The wire-hair might look rougher, but it's just as capable in the water as its smooth-coated cousin. Those webbed feet work just as well. That powerful build propels it through currents just as efficiently. The coat, when wet, still allows freedom of movement, still dries relatively quickly. Both breeds will plunge into November lakes without hesitation, both will retrieve until exhaustion threatens, both were born to work where water and land meet. Rest now, breathe deeply. And beyond the field. Both breeds balance field work with companionship. This might be the most important similarity of all. Neither is a kennel dog, neither is meant to live outside, separate from human contact. Both need their people, crave connection, thrive on being part of the family. After a day in the field, both want to lie by the fire, both want a hand to rest under, both need to be close to their humans. The coat may differ, the appearance may vary, but the heart is the same. So there you have it, variations on a theme. The German Shorthaired Pointer and the German Wirehaired Pointer, siblings in spirit if not in coat. One sleek, one rugged, one for most conditions, one for the harshest, but both carrying forward that same philosophy, that same dedication to versatility and partnership. Two paths to the same destination, two expressions of the same vision, two coats, one soul. Let that thought settle, breathe, and rest in the knowledge that excellence can wear many faces. And now, we step inside. We've explored the history, the body, the variations in form. But what of the mind? What happens behind those intelligent eyes? Let's settle in, breathe slowly, and discover the personality that animates this remarkable breed. First, let's talk about intelligence. German Shorthaired Pointers are highly intelligent and quick to learn. But not all intelligence is the same, is it? This isn't the eager-to-please intelligence of a golden retriever, or the biddable obedience of a border collie. This is problem-solving intelligence, adaptable intelligence, the kind of mind that figures things out. Show a German Shorthaired Pointer something once, maybe twice, and the wheels are already turning. They're processing, analyzing, understanding not just what you want, but why you want it. And here's something fascinating about how they learn. German Shorthaired Pointers are observational learners rather than repetitive drill dogs. Think about what that means. You can drill some breeds endlessly, repeat the same command 50 times, and they'll happily comply, their tails wagging with each repetition. But the German Shorthaired Pointer? After the third or fourth time, you can almost see the thought. Yes, I understand. I got it. Can we move on now? They watch, they observe, they internalize. They learn by seeing, by experiencing, by understanding the pattern. Repetition bores them, but challenge engages them completely. Let your breathing slow, sink deeper into relaxation. This brings us naturally to their problem-solving instincts. These instincts are strong, remarkably so. Present a German Shorthaired Pointer with a puzzle, a closed door, a hidden toy, a complex scent trail, and watch what happens. They don't give up. They don't wait for you to solve it. They try one approach, then another, then another. They use their nose, their paws, their intelligence. They experiment. This isn't stubbornness, it's cognitive flexibility. It's the mind of a dog bred to figure things out in the field, to adapt to changing conditions, to solve the problem of finding game without constant human direction. And that independence, It's core to who they are. German Shorthaired Pointers were bred to work independently at range. Imagine the hunting scenario: you're walking through vast fields, and your dog ranges out ahead, 100 yards, 200 yards, sometimes disappearing from sight over a ridge or into a draw. They're not running wild, they're hunting systematically, using their judgment, reading the wind and terrain, making decisions. They have to. You can't micromanage a dog that's that far away. So they were bred to think for themselves, to be trusted with autonomy, to be partners, not servants. But independence doesn't mean abandoning the partnership. German Shorthaired Pointers hold point steadily until the handler arrives. Picture this moment. It's the culmination of everything the breed was designed for. The dog is ranging wide, searching. Suddenly, it catches scent. The body freezes, locks into that iconic point, one front paw often lifted, tail extended, every muscle taut. And then, it waits. It could break, could flush the bird itself, but it doesn't. It holds 20 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes, however long it takes for you to catch up. That's discipline married to independence, self-control born of breeding and training. Breathe. Let the image settle in your mind. How do they cover so much ground so efficiently? German Shorthaired Pointers scout in wide, efficient search patterns. This isn't random running. Watch them work, and you'll see the method. They quarter the field, sweeping back and forth in a systematic pattern, using the wind to carry scent to them, covering every inch of ground without wasting energy on areas already checked. It's beautiful to watch, almost mathematical in its precision. The dog becomes a living algorithm, solving the problem of where is the game, with elegant efficiency. Now, we must talk about drive. The prey drive in German Shorthaired Pointers is exceptionally high. This is the engine that powers everything else. They see a bird, a squirrel, something moves in the grass, and every fiber of their being says chase, catch, hunt. It's not aggression, it's instinct. It's what they were made for. This drive never really turns off, it simmers constantly beneath the surface, ready to ignite at a moment's notice. This is thrilling when channeled properly, but it means every walk is an adventure. Every rustle in the bushes demands investigation. But here's what's remarkable: they can control it. German Shorthaired Pointers are energetic but focused when working. Yes, they have tremendous energy. Yes, they can seem like perpetual motion machines. But give them a job, put them to work, and watch the transformation. The frantic energy becomes channeled intensity. The scattered enthusiasm becomes laser focus. They're still energetic, but it's purposeful energy now, controlled, directed toward the task at hand. It's like the difference between static on a radio and a clear, strong signal. Let yourself drift, relax completely. And this reveals something essential about their nature. German Shorthaired Pointers thrive on having a job. Not just exercise, not just running around aimlessly, but a job. A purpose. A task to complete. It could be hunting, or agility, or nosework, or learning tricks, but they need to feel useful. They need to use that magnificent brain and athletic body in concert, working toward a goal. Without a job, they become restless, anxious, destructive even. With a job, they're content, fulfilled, the best version of themselves. And finally, perhaps most importantly for modern owners, mental stimulation is as important as physical exercise. You can run a German Shorthaired Pointer for miles, tire out the body completely, and if you haven't engaged the mind, you've only done half the job. They need to think, to solve, to learn. A 20-minute training session can be as satisfying to them as an hour's run. A puzzle toy can occupy them as thoroughly as a long walk. Feed the mind, and you'll have a calmer, happier dog. Neglect the mind, and all the physical exercise in the world won't bring peace. So there, you've met the working mind. Intelligent and observant, independent but controlled, driven but focused, always needing purpose, always needing to think. This is the personality that makes the German Shorthaired Pointer so remarkable, and so challenging, and so deeply rewarding to those who understand them. Rest now, breathe deeply, and let these insights settle like snow falling softly on still ground. And so, we arrive at a chapter of truth, of reality. We've celebrated the intelligence, the history, the beauty of this breed. But now, gently, we must talk about what it actually means to live with a German Shorthaired Pointer. Take a deep breath, settle in, and let's be honest together. Here is the first truth, plain and simple. German Shorthaired Pointers require at least 2 hours of vigorous daily exercise. Not a casual stroll around the block, not a 10-minute game of fetch in the backyard. 2 hours. Vigorous. Every single day. Rain or shine, winter or summer, tired or energetic, weekday or weekend. Think about what that means for a moment. That's a part-time job. That's a commitment measured not in minutes, but in hours. A morning run, an evening training session, a midday adventure. This isn't a breed for the casual dog owner. This is a breed for someone whose life has room for this level of dedication. Let your mind absorb that, breathe slowly. And if you think they'll eventually slow down, if you hope that with enough exercise they'll finally be tired, consider this. The endurance of a German Shorthaired Pointer is nearly limitless when conditioned. They're not like us, they don't hit a wall and need to stop. The more you exercise them, the fitter they become, and the fitter they become, the more they can do. It's a beautiful thing when you're on a hiking trail. They just keep going, mile after mile, never flagging, never complaining. But it also means you can't simply tire them out. You can condition them to your lifestyle, but understand that they'll match whatever activity level you set, and then be ready for more. Now, what happens if you can't meet these needs? Under-exercised German Shorthaired Pointers become destructive. Not out of spite, not because they're bad dogs, but because all that energy has to go somewhere. Imagine a dam holding back a river. If the water has no outlet, eventually it will overflow, or the dam will break. Chewed furniture, dug holes in the yard, stolen items, counter-surfing, excessive barking, these aren't behavior problems in the traditional sense. They're symptoms. Symptoms of a working dog with no work, an athlete with no sport, energy with no outlet. Breathe. Let that reality settle. And here's something that surprises many people. Puppy-like behavior persists for years in this breed. Most dogs mature around 2 years old, some earlier. German Shorthaired Pointers? They're still goofy teenagers at 2, still learning impulse control at 3, still have that puppy exuberance at 4. You need patience, years of it. That doesn't mean they can't learn, can't be trained, but that wild enthusiasm, that tendency to bounce off the walls, that stays for a long time. It's endearing, but it's also exhausting if you're not prepared for it. In fact, German Shorthaired Pointers remain playful well into adulthood. Even at 7, 8, 9 years old, they maintain that joyful, game-ready attitude. They never really become the dignified, calm senior dog lounging by the fire all day. There's always a glint in the eye, always readiness to play, always that eternal optimism that maybe, just maybe, you're about to throw the ball one more time. It keeps them young, keeps life interesting, but it also means you're committing to a decade or more of high energy. Let yourself relax deeper now. So where does all this energy go? German Shorthaired Pointers excel at running, swimming, and hiking. These are their natural outlets. Running, they were built for it, that smooth, ground-covering gait eating up miles. Swimming, those webbed feet and strong chest make them powerful in water. They'll swim until you drag them out. Hiking, they're made for rough terrain, for distance, for adventure. If your life includes these activities, if you run marathons or swim laps or spend weekends on mountain trails, this breed makes sense. If you're more of a Netflix and relax person, maybe reconsider. But it's not just casual recreation they excel at. German Shorthaired Pointers are natural athletes across dog sports. Give them a sport, almost any sport, and they'll throw themselves into it with abandon. They have the speed, the coordination, the intelligence, and most importantly, the drive to compete. They don't just participate, they excel. It's in their nature to work, to strive, to push themselves. Agility, dock diving, flyball. German Shorthaired Pointers perform well in all of these. Picture agility, weaving through poles, flying over jumps, racing through tunnels. That combination of speed and precision suits them perfectly. Dock diving. They launch themselves off the dock with pure joy, soaring through the air before splashing down, then swimming frantically back to do it again. Flyball. That relay race format, the speed, the competition, the chase, it lights them up. These sports aren't just exercise, they're mental engagement, problem solving, partnership with you. They're perfect outlets. Breathe slowly, rest in this knowledge. Now, remember what we learned about their intelligence. It applies to training too. Obedience improves with variety, not repetition. Drill them on the same commands in the same place in the same way, and you'll see their interest fade. Their performance plateaus. But vary the training, practice in different locations, mix up the rewards, keep it interesting, and they blossom. They need novelty, challenge, mental engagement. The handler who understands this, who keeps training fresh and fun, will have a responsive, obedient dog. The handler who expects mindless repetition will struggle. And this brings us to the culminating truth of this chapter. German Shorthaired Pointers are best suited for active lifestyles. Not just somewhat active, not I walk around the neighborhood most evenings. Truly active. Runners, hikers, swimmers, hunters, people who spend their free time outside, people who see their dog as a partner in adventure, not a pet that stays home. If your life is sedentary, if you work long hours and come home exhausted, if your idea of weekend recreation is sleeping in and reading the paper, this breed will be miserable. And you'll be frustrated. It's not a judgment, it's just compatibility. So there's the reality, presented gently but honestly. 2 hours daily, limitless endurance, destructive when under-exercised, years of puppy behavior, perpetually playful, built for running and swimming and hiking, natural athletes, excel at sports, need training variety, and best suited for truly active people. This is not a breed for everyone. But for the right person? For someone whose lifestyle aligns with these needs. The German Shorthaired Pointer is not a burden, it's a perfect match. A companion for every adventure, a partner who never says no. A friend who makes you better by demanding your best. Rest now, breathe deeply, and consider honestly whether this remarkable breed fits your life, or whether another dog might bring you both more happiness. Let that truth settle softly, like moonlight on water, as you drift toward sleep. And now, the scene shifts. We leave the field behind, the open spaces, the work and the sport. Now we come home. We walk through the door, into the warmth of family life. Let's explore together, gently, What it means to share your home with a German Shorthaired Pointer. The first thing you'll notice, the very first thing, is their nature with family. German Shorthaired Pointers are friendly and affectionate with their people. Not aloof, not independent in that standoffish way some breeds can be. No. They want to be near you. They lean against your legs while you're standing. They rest their head on your lap while you're sitting. They follow you from room to room, not anxiously, but companionably. As if to say, wherever you are, that's where I want to be too. It's a gentle affection, persistent but not demanding, simply present. Breathe slowly, feel that warmth. And these bonds, they run deep. German Shorthaired Pointers form strong bonds with their owners. This isn't the kind of dog that's equally happy with anyone who feeds it. They attach, they commit, they choose you. Once that bond is formed, it's profound. They read your moods, sense your emotions, know your routines so well they anticipate your next move. They become attuned to you in a way that's almost uncanny. This depth of connection is beautiful, but it also means they don't handle being left alone well. They're not accessories you can leave in the backyard. They're partners who expect partnership. Now here's something interesting, often curious. German Shorthaired Pointers often form a favorite person within the family. It might be the person who feeds them, or trains them, or runs with them most. It might be seemingly random. But you'll notice it. That one person gets the most intense greeting at the door. That one person is followed most closely. The dog listens to that person just a fraction more readily. It doesn't mean they don't love the whole family, but there's often that special bond, that primary attachment. It's not jealousy, it's just preference. Like we all have favorite people in our lives. Let your breathing deepen. Relax into this chapter. What about children? German Shorthaired Pointers are generally good with children when trained. That's an important caveat. When trained. They have naturally friendly temperaments, they're not aggressive, they don't have guarding or protective instincts that make them dangerous. But remember their size, their energy, their exuberance. A dog that weighs 60 pounds and moves like a cannonball can accidentally knock over a child while just being friendly. So training matters, teaching the dog calmness around children, teaching children how to interact with dogs respectfully. With those pieces in place, they can be wonderful family dogs. But we must be honest about one challenge. German Shorthaired Pointers can be rambunctious around small kids. Not mean, rambunctious. They don't always understand their own size and strength. A toddler toddles past, and the dog, in pure playfulness, might jump up, might knock them over, might accidentally scratch with those eager paws. It's not malicious, it's just physics. A young, energetic dog plus a small, unsteady child equals potential problems. Supervision is essential. Training is essential. And sometimes, waiting until children are a bit older before adding this breed to the family is the wisest choice. Rest in this understanding, breathe. Moving beyond children, how do they do with other dogs? German Shorthaired Pointers are generally social with other dogs. They're not typically aggressive or dominant. Many enjoy having canine companions, playmates who can match their energy, wrestling partners who don't tire easily. Dog parks, group hikes, doggy daycare, these can all work well. They play hard, chase and be chased, engage in those mock battles that look fierce but are pure fun. Of course, individual temperaments vary, some are more social than others, but as a breed, they tend toward friendliness with their own kind. But, and this is a significant but, their high prey drive requires caution with small pets. Remember that drive we discussed? That instinct to chase, to catch? It doesn't always distinguish between game birds and pet rabbits, between squirrels and guinea pigs. A German short-haired pointer raised with cats might be fine, might accept them as family. But introducing a cat to an adult dog with a strong prey drive? That's risky. Small pets that run, that squeak, that trigger those ancient instincts, they can be in danger. This doesn't make the dog bad, it makes the dog a dog. A hunting dog. With instincts that can't always be trained away. Let yourself sink deeper now, no tension, just listening. What about protection? Are they guard dogs? German short-haired pointers are alert barkers but poor guard dogs. They'll absolutely let you know when someone approaches. The doorbell rings, they bark. A stranger walks past the house, they notice and announce it. That's the alert barker part. But guard dog? No. They're not protective in that aggressive, territorial way. They're not suspicious of strangers. They're not going to defend your home against intruders. Why not? Because German short-haired pointers like people too much for aggression. That's really what it comes down to. They think everyone is a potential friend. Every stranger is just someone they haven't met yet. An intruder breaks in. The dog's more likely to bring them a toy and ask to play than to drive them away. This makes them wonderful, friendly companions, but terrible guard dogs. If you want protection, you need a different breed. If you want a social butterfly who loves everyone, this is your dog. And finally, perhaps most importantly for day-to-day life, German short-haired pointers thrive on inclusion in daily life. They don't want to be outside dogs, kenneled dogs, dogs that live separately from the family rhythm. They want to be involved. You're doing dishes? They'll lie on the kitchen floor, watching. You're working from home? They'll sleep under your desk, just to be close. You're watching TV? They'll squeeze onto the couch beside you, even though there's barely room. Going to run errands? They hope they're coming too. Every moment, every activity, they want to be part of it. This isn't neediness exactly, it's pack mentality. You're their pack, and they belong with the pack. So there you have it, family life with a German short-haired pointer. Friendly and affectionate, deeply bonded, often with a favorite person, good with kids when trained, but rambunctious with small ones, social with other dogs, challenging with small pets, alert but not protective, too friendly for aggression, and desperate to be included in everything you do. They're not decorative dogs, not independent dogs, not dogs that can be relegated to the yard or the garage. They're family members, demanding their place, earning their place through loyalty and affection, making your home livelier, more chaotic, and infinitely more loved. Rest now, breathe deeply, and imagine what it would be like to never be alone again, to always have those warm eyes watching, that gentle presence near, that beating heart sharing your space and your life. Let that feeling wash over you, like warm sunshine, as you drift peacefully towards sleep. We've explored the dog, its history, its body, its mind, its place in the home. Now, gently, we must talk about the partnership. About how you shape this remarkable animal, how you communicate, how you build the relationship that will carry you both forward. Settle in, breathe slowly, and let's talk about training. The foundation is simple, but absolute. German short-haired pointers respond best to positive reinforcement. Praise, treats, play, enthusiasm. When they do something right, celebrate it. When they make the connection between behavior and reward, their eyes light up, they engage, they want to learn more. This breed is sensitive, intelligent, eager to please when the relationship is right. Positive reinforcement builds confidence, builds trust, builds a dog that wants to work with you, not for you, with you. But what about corrections? What about discipline? Here's the truth, Harsh methods reduce trust and performance in German Shorthaired Pointers. Yelling, physical corrections, intimidation, these don't create a better dog. They create a confused dog, an anxious dog, a dog that shuts down rather than opens up. Remember, this breed was designed to work independently, to make decisions in the field. You can't beat independence into submission and expect it to function. Harsh training methods break something essential in this breed, that willing partnership, that joyful engagement with work. Train with kindness, with clarity, with patience, and you'll have a dog that shines. Breathe, let this wisdom settle. And start early. This cannot be overstated. Early socialization is critical for German Shorthaired Pointers. Puppyhood is brief, maybe 16 weeks of that critical window when everything is new and they're most adaptable. Expose them to everything. Different people, different dogs, different environments. The mailman, the vacuum cleaner, car rides, vet visits, busy sidewalks, quiet forests. Each positive experience builds confidence. Each new thing becomes normal rather than scary. A well-socialized German Shorthaired Pointer is confident, adaptable, stable. An under-socialized one can be anxious, reactive, difficult to manage in new situations. Now, let's talk about one of the most important skills. Recall training must be reinforced consistently throughout life. Come might be the most important command you'll ever teach. Because remember, this dog was bred to range far, to work independently. That instinct to run, to explore, to investigate every interesting scent, it's powerful. Teaching a solid recall takes time, takes consistency, and takes making yourself more interesting than whatever's out there. And even once it's learned, it must be maintained. Practice it, reward it, never take it for granted. A German Shorthaired Pointer with a solid recall has freedom. One without it must always be leashed, always restricted. Let your mind drift now, rest in these thoughts. Here's something you might not expect. German Shorthaired Pointers are sensitive to environmental changes. Move to a new house. They notice, they might be unsettled for weeks. Change your work schedule. They feel it. New person in the home. They need time to adjust. This sensitivity is part of their awareness, their intelligence, but it means transitions require patience. They're not the kind of dog that adapts instantly to anything. They need time, consistency, reassurance. Understand this about them, and you can help them through changes. Ignore it, and you might see anxiety, stress behaviors, regression in training. But you can help them. Structured routines reduce anxiety in this breed. Feed at the same times, walk at the same times, bedtime rituals, morning patterns. Routine creates security. They know what's coming. They can relax into the predictability. This doesn't mean your life has to be rigid, but it means having some consistent anchors in the day. Wake up, first thing, we go outside. Evening, this is when we train. Before bed, this is our quiet time. Those patterns become comforting, become the framework that holds their world together. Breathe deeply, feel yourself relaxing. And don't stop at basic obedience. German Shorthaired Pointers benefit from advanced training challenges. Once they've mastered sit, down, stay, keep going. Teach them tricks, complex sequences, scent work, anything that engages that powerful mind. They need to keep learning, keep progressing, keep being challenged. A German Shorthaired Pointer that's mastered everything you've taught them and has nothing new to learn? That's a bored dog. And bored dogs find their own entertainment, usually entertainment you won't appreciate. Keep teaching, keep challenging, keep that mind engaged. Now, an important question. Is this a breed for first-time dog owners? German Shorthaired Pointers can be suitable for novice owners with commitment. Notice that word. Commitment. You don't need previous dog experience necessarily, but you need dedication. You need to be willing to learn, to take classes, to read books, to seek help when needed. You need to commit to the exercise, the training, the mental stimulation. A first-time owner who understands what they're getting into, who's prepared to put in the work, can absolutely succeed with this breed. A first-time owner who underestimates the challenge? That's a recipe for frustration on both sides. And here's what makes training easier. German Shorthaired Pointers excel when expectations are clear. They don't do well with ambiguity, with inconsistency, with rules that change day to day. But give them clear boundaries, consistent rules, predictable consequences, and they thrive. On the couch is either allowed or not allowed. It can't be okay sometimes and not okay other times. Jumping on people is either acceptable or unacceptable. Not okay when I'm in old clothes but not when I'm dressed up. Clarity is kindness with this breed. They want to please you, help them understand how. Rest now, breathe slowly. And finally, perhaps the most important thing to understand. Training is a lifelong process, not a phase for German Shorthaired Pointers. You don't train them for 6 months as a puppy and then you're done. Training continues, evolves, deepens, for their entire life. Maintenance of skills, learning new skills, adapting to new stages of life. A 2-year-old needs different training than a puppy. A 7-year-old needs different training than a 2-year-old. The relationship is always developing, always growing, always requiring your attention and input. This isn't a burden, it's the nature of partnership. You grow together, learn together, adapt together. So there it is, the path to successful ownership. Positive reinforcement builds trust, harsh methods destroy it. Early socialization creates confidence. Recall training is essential and ongoing. Sensitivity to change requires patience. Routines provide security. Advanced challenges keep them engaged. Novice owners can succeed with commitment. Clear expectations bring out their best. And training never truly ends, it just evolves. This is not a dog you train and then forget about. This is a dog you train with, a partner in an ongoing dance, a relationship that requires your presence, your consistency, your patience, and yes, your love. But oh, the rewards. A well-trained German Shorthaired Pointer is a joy beyond measure. Responsive, engaged, confident, a dog that makes you proud, a companion that elevates every moment. Let that promise settle over you like a warm blanket, breathe deeply, and rest in the knowledge that with the right approach, this remarkable breed can be the partner you've always dreamed of. Drift now, peacefully, into sleep. And now, we must speak of time. Of the body's limitations, of care, of the gentle reality that all lives, even the brightest, are finite. But let's speak of this calmly, peacefully, with the understanding that knowledge is power, and preparation is love. Breathe slowly, and let's talk about health. First, the gift of time you're given. The average lifespan of a German Shorthaired Pointer is 12 to 14 years. Think about that for a moment. 12 to 14 years of partnership, of morning walks and evening cuddles, of adventures and quiet moments. That's longer than many large breeds, longer than you might expect for such an athletic, hard-working dog. It's a generous span, enough time to build a life together, to create countless memories, to grow old alongside each other. And the numbers are even more encouraging than you might think. The median lifespan is reported at over 13 years. Median means half live longer, half live less long. But that center point, over 13 years, that's substantial. Many will give you even more time than that. 15 years isn't uncommon. 16 happens. These aren't fragile dogs, they're robust, hardy, built to last. Let yourself relax into this knowledge, breathe. But no breed is without challenges. German Shorthaired Pointers are prone to hip dysplasia. The hips, those crucial joints that power every leap, every run, every climb, they don't always form perfectly. Dysplasia means the ball and socket don't fit quite right. There's looseness, abnormal wear, and over time, arthritis. It causes pain, limping, difficulty rising. Not every dog gets it, but it's common enough to be a concern. Responsible breeders screen for it, x-ray the hips before breeding, try to select against it. If you're getting a puppy, ask about the parents' hip scores. It matters. Now, something more immediately dangerous. Deep chests increase bloat risk in this breed. Remember that deep chest we discussed? That space for lung capacity. It comes with a cost. Bloat, technically called gastric dilatation volvulus, or GDV, is when the stomach fills with gas and twists on itself. It's an emergency, life-threatening, requiring immediate surgery. The deep chest creates space for the stomach to flip. Large meals, vigorous exercise right after eating, gulping food too quickly, these can all contribute to the risk. But you can help protect them. Feeding smaller meals helps reduce GDV risk. Instead of one large meal a day, feed 2 or 3 smaller ones. The stomach never gets too full, never stretches too much. Use slow feeder bowls if they eat too fast. Wait an hour after meals before vigorous exercise. These simple steps significantly reduce risk. Not eliminate, but reduce. It's something to be aware of, to respect, but not to live in fear of. Breathe slowly, let this information settle without worry. Young dogs face their own challenges. Osteochondrosis can affect growing joints in German Shorthaired Pointers. This is a developmental problem, during those rapid growth phases, where cartilage doesn't develop properly into bone. It can affect shoulders, elbows, knees. It causes lameness, pain, and can lead to arthritis later in life. Proper nutrition during growth helps, not over-supplementing calcium, keeping growing puppies at a healthy weight rather than chubby, avoiding excessive jumping and hard exercise during those vulnerable months. Most cases resolve with rest and management, some require surgery. The eyes, those expressive, intelligent eyes, they too can have issues. Eye problems may occur in some German Shorthaired Pointers. Progressive retinal atrophy can lead to blindness. Cataracts can cloud the lens. Entropion, where the eyelid rolls inward, can irritate the eye. Not every dog experiences these, but they exist in the breed. Annual eye exams by a veterinary ophthalmologist can catch problems early. Responsible breeders test for these conditions. Again, knowledge is power, awareness is preparation. And the skin. Skin allergies are possible in some lines. Environmental allergies, food allergies, causing itching, scratching, ear infections, hot spots. Some dogs go through life with perfect skin. Others struggle with chronic issues requiring management, special diets, medications, regular baths. It's unpredictable, frustrating when it occurs, but manageable with veterinary help. If you notice persistent scratching, hair loss, skin redness, don't ignore it. The sooner it's addressed, the easier it is to control. Let yourself sink deeper now, no tension, just awareness. So what do you do with all this information? Regular veterinary screening is recommended for German Shorthaired Pointers. Not just annual checkups, though those are important, but specific screening. Hip x-rays, eye exams, cardiac evaluations as they age. Blood work to catch problems early. These aren't just for sick dogs, they're preventive care. They catch problems before symptoms appear, when intervention is most effective. Yes, it costs money, yes, it takes time, but it extends life, improves quality of life, gives you more years with your companion. And it starts before you even bring a puppy home. Responsible breeding reduces genetic risk significantly. A breeder who health tests, who selects breeding stock carefully, who prioritizes health over appearance or profit, produces healthier puppies. Hip scores, elbow scores, eye certifications, cardiac clearances, DNA tests for genetic diseases. These aren't guarantees, but they dramatically improve the odds. A puppy from health-tested parents might still develop problems, but it's far less likely than a puppy from untested parents. So there's the reality, presented gently but completely. 12 to 14 years of life, often more. Hip dysplasia exists but can be screened for. Bloat is a risk but can be managed. Growing joints need care. Eyes need monitoring. Skin might be sensitive. Regular screening catches problems early. And responsible breeding reduces all these risks. This isn't meant to frighten, it's meant to prepare. Every breed has its challenges. German Shorthaired Pointers are, overall, quite healthy. Most live long, active lives. Most never experience serious problems. But awareness means you'll watch for signs, you'll take preventive steps, you'll catch problems early when they do occur. And ultimately, even with perfect care, we get the time we get. What matters is the quality of that time. The love shared, the adventures taken, the bond forged. 12 years of joy is worth more than a lifetime of emptiness. Rest now, breathe deeply, and hold this truth gently. We care for them as best we can, we treasure every moment, and we accept, with grace, that love always includes the risk of loss. But oh, the love is worth it. Always, always worth it. Let that peace wash over you, like moonlight on still water, as you drift softly toward sleep. Let's turn now to something simpler, something gentler. We've talked about training, about health, about energy and drive. Now, let's talk about the everyday care. The simple maintenance that keeps your German Shorthaired Pointer comfortable and healthy. Breathe easily. This part is reassuring, uncomplicated. First, the good news. Short-haired coats are low maintenance. That sleek, tight coat we described earlier, it doesn't demand much from you. No professional grooming appointments every 6 weeks. No elaborate styling. No hours with scissors and clippers. It's wash and wear, natural, simple. The coat takes care of itself, mostly. This is a blessing for busy owners, for people who want a dog, not a grooming project. Now, if you've chosen the wirehead variety, there's a bit more to consider. Wirehead coats need brushing and occasional stripping. That rougher coat, it doesn't shed quite the same way. Dead hairs can get trapped in the coat, matting if left unattended. Brushing a few times a week keeps it tidy. And stripping, that's the process of removing dead coat by hand or with a special tool, maintains the proper texture. Some owners learn to do it themselves. Others visit a groomer a few times a year. It's not overwhelming, just something to be aware of. Let yourself relax, breathe slowly. What about shedding? Shedding is moderate year-round in German Shorthaired Pointers. They're not hypoallergenic, they're not non-shedding. You'll find hair on your furniture, on your clothes, tumbling across the floor like tiny tumbleweeds. But it's not overwhelming. Not like a husky or a German shepherd, not those dramatic seasonal coat blows where you could knit a sweater from what comes off. Just steady, consistent, manageable with regular cleaning. And you can control it easily. Weekly brushing controls hair effectively. A simple rubber curry brush, a hound glove, run it over the coat once a week, and you'll remove most of the loose hair before it falls out naturally. It takes 5 minutes. Maybe 10 if you're being thorough. Do it outside, and the hair blows away. Do it inside, and you'll have a small pile to vacuum up. But that one session dramatically reduces how much hair ends up everywhere else. It's a small investment with significant returns. Here's something pleasant. Low drool compared to many sporting breeds. No constant strings of saliva. No needing to carry a drool towel everywhere. Some breeds in the sporting group, they drip constantly. German Shorthaired Pointers. Their mouths are relatively tight, neat. You might see a bit of drool when they're excited about food, or after a long drink of water. But day to day, they're clean. Your furniture stays relatively pristine. Your car doesn't become a slobber zone. Breathe. Let this simplicity wash over you. And the smell. Minimal odor when well cared for. Dogs have a smell, that's natural. But German Shorthaired Pointers, with their short coat and active lifestyle, don't typically develop that strong dog smell some breeds carry. An occasional bath, maybe once a month, or when they've rolled in something questionable, keeps them fresh. Between baths, they smell like, well, like a dog, but faintly. Not offensively. If your dog suddenly smells strong, check the ears or the skin, it usually indicates a problem, not just normal dog odor. Now, the feet. Here's a gift for active owners. Nails wear naturally with activity in this breed. All that running, all those miles on trails and pavement, they file the nails down naturally. You might still need to trim occasionally, check them regularly, but if your dog is getting enough exercise on varied surfaces, the nails often maintain themselves. Compare this to sedentary dogs whose nails need trimming every few weeks, it's a significant advantage. But one area does need attention. Ears require regular checks in German Shorthaired Pointers. Those floppy ears, they create a warm, moist environment inside. Perfect for infections if you're not careful. After swimming, after baths, gently dry inside the ears. Check weekly for redness, odor, discharge. A quick peek, a gentle wipe with a proper ear cleaner if needed. Catch infections early, and they're easily treated. Ignore the ears, and you'll deal with chronic problems. Let yourself sink deeper, rest in this knowledge. But overall grooming is straightforward with this breed. No elaborate routines. No expensive salon visits. No hours of work each week. Brush weekly. Bathe occasionally. Check ears regularly. Trim nails if needed. That's it. That's the whole routine. For a dog this active, this athletic, this present in your life, the grooming demands are remarkably light. It's almost surprising. You'd think such a dog would require more. But no. They're low fuss in this department. And here's why that matters. Care routines fit active owners well. The kind of person drawn to this breed, the runner, the hiker, the outdoor enthusiast, they don't want to spend hours grooming. They want to spend hours doing, moving, adventuring. The German Shorthaired Pointer matches that lifestyle perfectly. Quick brush, quick check, and you're both out the door. The care routine doesn't compete with the activity, doesn't steal time from the adventures. It complements the lifestyle rather than complicating it. So there's the daily maintenance reality, and it's good news. Low grooming needs. Manageable shedding. Minimal drool. Little odor. Self-maintaining nails. Just the ears need regular attention. Straightforward. Simple. Fitting perfectly into an active life. This is a working dog, a field dog, designed to get dirty and shake it off. Designed to need minimal fussing. That practical heritage serves modern owners beautifully. You get a stunning, athletic companion, without the grooming burden of many other breeds. Rest easy in this simplicity, breathe deeply, and appreciate that sometimes, less really is more. The German Shorthaired Pointer asks for your time on trails and in training, not at the grooming table. And that's exactly as it should be. Let that comfort settle over you like a soft blanket, as you drift peacefully, gently, toward sleep. And now, we come to the final chapter. We've walked through history, through form and function, through training and care. Now, let us speak of recognition. Of legacy. Of the place this remarkable breed holds in the world. Settle in, breathe slowly, and let's honor what the German Shorthaired Pointer has become. The story of American recognition begins nearly a century ago. The American Kennel Club recognized German Shorthaired Pointers in 1930. Picture that moment, the formal acceptance into the premier dog registry in the United States. It had taken time, the breed had to prove itself on American soil, had to demonstrate its value, had to build enough of a following to warrant recognition. But in 1930, it happened. The German Shorthaired Pointer was official, established, part of the American dog fancy. It was no longer a foreign curiosity, it was an American sporting dog. The cousin followed later. German Wirehaired Pointers were recognized in 1959. Nearly 3 decades after the Shorthair, taking longer to build that critical mass, to prove themselves distinct and valuable. But eventually, they too earned their place. 2 variations, 2 expressions of the same philosophy, both now firmly established in the registry. Breathe, let this history settle. And how have they fared since recognition? German Shorthaired Pointers rank among the most popular sporting breeds today. Not just in America, but worldwide. Look at registration numbers, they're consistently in the top tier of sporting dogs. More popular than many older, more established breeds. This isn't accident. This is the result of performance, of versatility, of being exactly what hunters and active families need. Word spreads. One person gets a German Shorthaired Pointer, tells their friends, shows what the dog can do. The breed grows, not through marketing, but through merit. And it's not just American recognition. German Shorthaired Pointers are accepted globally by major kennel organizations. The Kennel Club in Britain, the Canadian Kennel Club, the FCI in Europe, organizations in Australia, Japan, South Africa, everywhere dogs are registered and shown and bred, the German Shorthaired Pointer has a place. It's a truly international breed, carrying that German heritage into every corner of the dog world. But recognition is one thing, success is another. German Shorthaired Pointers compete successfully in field and show rings both. This is rare, this dual success. Many hunting breeds can't win in the show ring, they're too rough, too workmanlike. Many show dogs can't perform in the field, bred for beauty, not function. But the German Shorthaired Pointer? It wins both. Field champions that are also show champions. Dogs that can run a field trial on Saturday and take best of breed on Sunday. That's the power of that original philosophy, performance before appearance, but never sacrificing one for the other. Let yourself drift, relax completely. The accolades are impressive. German Shorthaired Pointers are winners at Westminster and National Field Trials. Westminster, perhaps the most prestigious dog show in the world, and yes, German Shorthaired Pointers have won best in show there. Standing in that center ring at Madison Square Garden, representing the entire sporting group, and then representing all dogs. And at National Field Trials, where hunting dogs prove their mettle against the best in the country, champions there too. This dual excellence, this ability to shine in completely different arenas, it's the ultimate validation of the breed. But their talents extend beyond sport. German Shorthaired Pointers are used in detection and nosework roles. That powerful nose, that drive to search, that focus and trainability, it translates beautifully to working roles. Drug detection, explosive detection, search and rescue. Conservation work, finding invasive species or tracking endangered animals. The same skills that find game birds can find anything with a scent. Law enforcement agencies, conservation organizations, they've discovered what hunters knew all along. This nose is extraordinary. They've entered popular culture too. German Shorthaired Pointers appear in films and popular culture. Not as prominently as some breeds, but they are there. In movies about hunting, about outdoor adventure. In commercials for outdoor gear, for trucks, for anything associated with active, adventurous living. On social media, Instagram accounts devoted to individual dogs have hundreds of thousands of followers. People love photographing them. They're so photogenic, that athletic grace, those expressive faces. They represent a lifestyle, an aspiration, a way of being in the world. Breathe deeply, feel the pride in this legacy. And who owns them? Who are the people drawn to this breed? German Shorthaired Pointers are favored by athletes and outdoor enthusiasts. Marathon runners who need a training partner. Rock climbers who want a companion at the crag. Hikers who log hundreds of miles a year. Mountain bikers. Kayakers. Hunters, yes, but also anyone whose life is defined by movement, by outdoor adventure, by pushing physical limits. The breed has become a badge, a signal, a way of saying I live actively. I embrace challenge. I want a partner who matches my energy. And finally, the ultimate recognition. The highest praise. German Shorthaired Pointers are considered one of the most versatile dogs ever bred. Not just versatile for a hunting dog, not just versatile for a sporting breed, but versatile, period. Among all dogs, all breeds, all purposes, the German Shorthaired Pointer stands at the pinnacle of adaptability. Point, track, retrieve. Land, water. Feather, fur. Family companion, working dog, competitor. Indoors, outdoors. This breed does it all. This breed excels at it all. That was the original vision, and it's been achieved beyond what those early German breeders could have imagined. Let that sink in, rest in that truth. From 17th century quail dogs, to carefully engineered versatile hunters, to internationally recognized champions, to beloved family companions. The journey has been long. The breed has been tested, proven, refined. And through it all, it has remained true to its core, a working athlete with purpose, a partner for those who live actively, a dog that asks much but gives more. We've reached the end of our journey together. 100 facts, 10 chapters, the complete story of the German Shorthaired Pointer. From why it exists, to how it's built, to what it needs, to what it offers. You know this breed now. You understand its demands, its gifts, its place in the world. If this is your breed, if your life has room for this level of energy and commitment and partnership, you'll find no more devoted companion. No more capable athlete. No more versatile friend. And if it's not your breed, if you recognize that your lifestyle wouldn't suit this dog's needs, then you've gained something too. Wisdom. Understanding. The knowledge that loving dogs means knowing which dog to love, and sometimes, which dog to admire from afar. Either way, you've met one of the most remarkable breeds ever created. A dog with purpose, with history, with a legacy built on performance and proven over generations. Rest now, breathe deeply, and carry this knowledge with you into peaceful sleep. The German Shorthaired Pointer, engineered with intention, built for work, beloved for partnership, recognized worldwide, and standing proud among the most versatile dogs ever bred. Let that pride, that respect, that admiration settle over you like the gentlest rain on summer leaves. Sleep well, dream peacefully, and may you wake refreshed, having journeyed through the remarkable world of the German Shorthaired Pointer. Good night.